Hello, welcome to the Great Rehumanization. I want to talk about that. This is going to be like just the intro video to the Great Rehumanization and what this is about. So, the Great Rehumanization, it's just like a corny phrase. I'm laying in bed one night, it's November 2019. Been talking to a guy I knew, a friend, about, he's trying to tell me you got to do a podcast. I'm like, I don't have time to do a podcast. But then that's when I started thinking about one. I was going to do one with this friend of mine. That never came together. But laying in bed one night, I'm like, the Great Rehumanization. Because I was thinking, what am I going to talk about? What do I want to talk about if I'm going to do a podcast? Because I'm into so many things. What could encompass a lot of that? Oh, what encompasses humanity? Because that's really what I'm into. Art, literature, history, all of it. I mean, that's my thing. I'm omnivorous intellectually. I'm into all sorts of things. So what do I love enough to do a podcast about? And that's what I'm coming up with, humanity. Yeah, man. So really, where I landed was, it's everything that isn't humanity that I want to look at. In other words, what's hurting us? What's really, really hurting us? And then it was immediate. Dehumanization. Looking at other human beings and making them less human so that we can treat them badly. That's what dehumanization is. We can do that simply by making people lesser humans, like not as evolved as us, in need of lessons which might be rather harsh. Or we can really fully strip them of all their human dignity so that we can treat them worse than animals. All right? Because people who have committed atrocities have come home, kissed their wives, and pet their dogs. It's a normal thing when it comes to atrocities, because normal people commit atrocities. Okay? Evil is something that loves normal, regular, good people. I'll repeat that again. Evil, the force, is something that loves good, honest, normal, regular people. Good, normal, honest, regular people are usually the ones who do the worst things imaginable together. Because together, good, normal people can make it more excusable because everybody's doing it. And then especially when you have a whole lot of other people who you can deem less human than yourself. That's dehumanization. Okay? That's an action. The way we treat other people. Making other people less human so we can treat them badly. Okay? Religion and politics are two areas where we specialize in doing this. Okay? And in doing it in those two arenas, it's especially damaging and is not productive at any level. It never has been productive. And in any time anybody has used religion or politics to dehumanize somebody else, whatever results they were seeking were minuscule, very short-lived. Look at Nazi Germany. How long did that last? Not long. Soviet Union? Not long. Any empire? Not really that long. But any of these groups that go around trying to remake world history and commit the atrocities and try to take history in their hands and play God on that level, it doesn't even last, and it does harm to everybody. And it usually takes quite a long time to climb out of. So it never leads anywhere good at all. It's the essence of evil, dehumanization. Nothing good comes of it. Okay? That's what dehumanization is as a behavior, as something we do. And it becomes a pathology. We don't even think about it. It's automatic. It's a go-to thing. It's unconscious. Okay? And then these other forces use that pathology, a conditioning, to get us to see other people as the enemy so that we can do the dirty work. Okay? It's always an alliance between elite forces and regular people. That's why you have people that kind of just, take an issue with populism sometime, or even the word, because even that level. It's usually regular people getting manipulated. That's what populism usually comes down to. Okay? Regular people who have been treated badly by elites, and then some other semi-elite or wannabe elite comes along and says, you know what I'll do? I'll point at the elites, and then I'll point at other people, and I'll get those badly treated people on my side, and I'll use them to my advantage. So you get the point. You're being used. We're being used. We're all being used. And while I'm at it, I have to point out, this isn't something that only works in one-sided ways, okay? If you think that everyone else is being manipulated, but not you, that's a good indication that you're being manipulated. So where am I coming from? I dropped my guitar pick. I don't like it when I do that. But anyway, so as I was saying, dehumanization. So that's the behavior. Now, there's also the phenomenon of it, which includes all sorts of various phenomena, and it's basically related to, let's say, technological forces. When I use the word technology, I'm not necessarily just simply talking about machines and gadgets. I'm talking about the processes therein. Okay? So there is a goal, like something that needs to be done, and then there's a way of doing it and a set of processes to get there. That's technique. Okay? The most efficient way to achieve the desirable outcome. A world of processes. Okay? The technical world, the technological society. In this setup that we have, for all the progress that we make in the standard of living rising and all these other things we can point to that we build actually a myth of progress out of, that is where we can find the phenomenon of dehumanization. So in our day-to-day life, it's baked in other words. All right? You are a number. When we hear people talked about and being called units of labor, all right? Economic terms that look at human beings as commodities, euphemisms. Just your day-to-day life will call your number when you get. It's a dehumanizing thing. You don't have a connection with a lot of these. I don't want to keep saying you. I mean me. I mean all of us when I'm doing that today. That's just something. I keep doing that today. We don't have the human connection when we're in other words, this is a world of means. Okay? You heard the phrase, the end justifies the means? Well, we're just kind of caught up in means. Okay? The processes of things. And in that, we become numbers. We become means ourselves. So you have economists looking at all these numbers on graphs and stuff, or people in boardrooms trying to sell things to you. We are a constant target for manipulation and bombardment. We need you to buy this, you to think this, you to do this, you to act this way, you to think this way. There are so many points of pressure, so many forces bearing down on us, so many different entities that want our attention, that want us to do things simply as somebody else's tool, somebody else's means to an end. Like you are the way somebody else, we are the way other people make their profits, right? You know what I mean? We're just numbers, objects. That's dehumanization. Like the world we live in other words, is dehumanizing in so many real ways. All right? And it's a matter of efficiency and processes, and the human being gets lost in that. So that's what this show is about. It's about locating and analyzing all of those forces within us and without us, the structures of the world, our history, our tendencies, and our behaviors, and how we really feel. And then take all of that and say, okay, how do we keep making the same mistakes? Why do we look at history and learn that we learn nothing from history? Because we see the same thing playing out. Simple pathologies being manipulated in ways that we then start acting on them without thinking about it. All propaganda, and we'll get into this too. You'll hear propaganda talked about a lot in simple terms that make you believe that it's a matter of brainwashing us. That's propaganda. And we always feel with propaganda that it's something that we notice but other people don't. Oh, that's just propaganda. That's why you think that way. We never consider what propaganda really is. It's a process, okay? It's a long process that includes all sorts of things like advertising, what you see on the news, what you hear your politicians saying, what the pollster's asking you when they call you. Propaganda is all of these mechanisms, and their design is not to get you to think a certain way or to have an opinion. It's to condition you to react a certain way so that you do something when called upon. That's what propaganda is. All right? So propaganda is a phenomenon within the larger phenomena that contributes to dehumanization. All right? Manipulation. The only reason we manipulate each other is to gain advantage over each other. And now, I am coming from a place of deep faith, but everything I'm saying can be can be just analyzed from a moral system, a basic system of ethics and morals. Okay? Now, I have my thoughts on that too, but what I'm saying is, this comes from a spot of deep faith for me. Dehumanization is a cardinal sin because we're all made in God's image. So the way the devil gets to us is to get us to look at other human beings as if God didn't make them too, as if Jesus didn't die for that person too. Remember that. Okay, if you're a Christian, especially remember this. The next time you're pointing at somebody and you're feeling so much better than them, you have to understand that Jesus loved that person so much that they died for them too, not just you. Not so you could walk around saying, I'm saved, I'm blameless, and I'm saying, yeah, we're all blameless culprits. And not in the spiritual sense. Here on earth. Blameless culprits, meaning we're all culpable in the way this is playing out. But we treat each other as if I'm not to blame, but you are. All right, man. Men, women, guys, girls, everybody, people, friends, neighbors, humans. However you identify politically, personally, all these things, we're all human beings. I insist on that because I believe in God, and I take it seriously. But I, on a basic moral level, see the wisdom in all of it, in understanding the humanity in all of us. And let's work from there, okay? This is what the great rehumanization is all about. It's corny, right? Rehumanize, great rehumanization. But I want it to sound that way. I want it to sound exciting, like it's something we can do together. Right? And we're not looking for any solutions. We are just trying to locate the phenomena. The phenomena, the issues, the things we do so that we can stop doing it. Another way I'll put it is, we want to put the devil in front of us so that we can say, get behind me, Satan. But if we don't know that that's the devil in front of us all the time, we're just going to do what he says. Right? And that usually involves dehumanizing somebody so we can do the devil's work. All right, peace and love. All right? Keep it there. I'll see you again soon. Just, there's no solution outside of love. Wise as serpents, harmless as doves. Peace.
Choices, some of us vow. It can get so overwhelming to live in the now. There's always a case for resistance. We must embrace this precious existence. We need to belong. We must accept each other, or we'll never get along. Our relationships take persistence to get the most of our precious existence. existence. Never forsake this precious existence.